Hello, everybody, and welcome to my AEW Revolution predictions. So, Revolution is coming up in about 6 days. It's going to be happening on March 7th. This will go up a little bit later than that, but this is being pre recorded, so keep that in mind if any of the cards change. So, the Wikipedia listing here is not in the best order. I don't think that, the Sting match is going to be first on the show as it's listed here. So, we're just going to go in a reasonable order that I think makes some amount of sense. I would also like to preface this by saying that I don't watch as much AEW as I probably should. I watch Collision generally, but Dynamite runs at a weird time, and Rampage is a little too late. So, I see what happens on Twitter, but otherwise I don't really see anything about the show. So I'm basing a few of my statements just on what it says here on Wikipedia. Let us get started with the International Championship on the line, with Orange Cassidy defending against Roderick Strong. I would also like to mention that none of these matches have pictures, and the three that had pictures, only two of them were good. The other one was 400 pixels, and I wasn't going to use that because it looks bad. But this will be represented by the international title itself. And this match, it is more related, obviously, to the storyline of the Undisputed Kingdom. And I feel, if you're the Undisputed Kingdom, right, when you were going into World's End 2023, that was so peak Undisputed Kingdom. You're like, oh man, who's the devil? Who's the devil? Who are these masked men? Who is it? And everybody was pretty sure it was going to be Adam Cole and maybe a few other assorted heels. But once they came out, it was a great pop. It was really good. And ever since, they have just been going on a decline. Ever since. The group had so much potential that Adam Cole got hurt, and Roderick Strong kept doing the neck thing. And Wardlow only won just random squash matches against random people on Collision and Dynamite. So there was no real thing or benefit from their entire story. The only benefit was having MJF lose his title. That's all that came from the storyline of the Undisputed Kingdom. But I do think that their momentum will continue going down because there's no point for them, as Roderick Strong will lose this match against Cassidy. There will be a common theme here where I don't think really many of the champions will be losing their titles this close to Double or Nothing. And when you're building to your biggest show of the year in Double or Nothing, why would you have champions start losing their titles? You kind of wait until Double or Nothing if you want that to happen. Or, as with one or two of these titles, you could argue that instead of losing them on the pay-per-view, they lose them the following Dynamite or the following Collision. Now, that really only applies to one title on here that would be kind of funny for. However, we're going to get to that a little bit later. I expect Orange Cassidy to retain. Next up is Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson. This match is for the Continental Crown Championship, and for those who don't know, that is the AEW Continental Championship, the Ring of Honor World Championship, and the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. So Eddie Kingston has united all three of them as one title. The slight other stipulation of this match, it's still just a singles match. However, it is if Bryan Danielson loses, he has to shake Eddie Kingston's hand match. Ooh, how intriguing. So this match, I think, should be built as a way to push up Eddie, but still make Bryan Danielson look strong in defeat. Again, back to my point, no reason really for Eddie to lose this close to DON, and I will refer to it as Don from here on out. But it's Bryan Danielson, so you got to make him look as good as possible. But what you should be doing is giving Bryan these really good runs where he's in the middle of his, setup. He's doing his kicks. He's doing his knee. He's doing his submission. And Eddie is breaking everything. In a sense of how Cody was working at WrestleMania 39 against Roman. He escaped the guillotine, escaped the spear, escaped everything. Now, obviously, Eddie will actually win, unlike Cody. But it should be a good showing for both men. Next up, in a non-title bout, is Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita. I hope I said that correctly. It might be Takeshita, but I don't know. It's a hard name to pronounce. So Will Ospreay truly just debuted in AEW. He was in the company for a few months before this match, but I think it was last week actually, just came out and he was like, Will Ospreay's actually going to start wrestling for us. Let's go. Will Ospreay's winning. Why would you have him lose his debut match? A little bit weird. Now, given, Cena did lose his WWE debut match. So, but my point is, Takeshita's there because he's a very good worker and he can really help Ospreay. Man, Takeshita can really carry Ospreay to a good match. Never seen him put anything good on before. Nothing in that 7-star range or anything. But you get my point. Takeshita's a very helping hand to this. He will give Ospreay a pretty solid, debut match in AEW. He'll take the loss, and Ospreay should easily win. Well, maybe not easily. I think Takeshita will have that one spot where he gets his finishing sequence off. Ospreay's just able to kick out. You could debate a rope break, and Ospreay finishes him off. But there's no reason for Takeshita to win here. I would like to keep his momentum going. I do want to see him win a title because he is amazing. But just give the win to Ospreay, get him closer to that world title picture that he's inevitably going to get to. Next up for a title is Timeless Toni Storm defending her women's world title against Deonna Purrazzo. This is yet again a singles match. Okay. Again, back to my point, really no one should be losing their titles here. I think Deonna, yet again, as with how Danielson looked, give Deonna a good showing, give her something good showing. I can't really go from there. And maybe you can pull Luther maybe breaks up a pin and Deonna beats him up. And that's a common spot in matches like this where you have the kind of cowardly male who's kind of helping out the woman who messes in the women's match and then gets beat up by the stronger woman. It's happened a few times before. But, have Deonna put Luther through the table for fun. I don't know. But Timeless Toni Storm should retain her title here. Next up, we have a tag team match between FTR and the BCC. This match, I have literally no idea what's going on. I watched one little clip about it on Twitter, and that's about all the story I have going into it. But because of who's in it, I'm going to say BCC. Give them a bit of a push, because they're just kind of doing nothing right now. The group as a whole has not done anything for a while, and getting a win like this could put both of them in the sights of winning the tag titles. In the next match we're going to be looking at, we're going to see the AEW TNT title on the line as Christian Cage, along with his family, will be retaining against Daniel Garcia. Because he does the thing. Ooh. I didn't include many shenanigans in the Toni Storm match, in which there probably should be shenanigans, because I want to hold them off until this match. I think, Daniel Garcia, he comes out, and the story is, can Daniel Garcia take on all the odds of the whole family being there? Killswitch, Mother Wayne, Nick Wayne, who can Garcia beat down to win the title? And then he beats up Nick Wayne. He tries to interfere. He pushes over Killswitch, but he can't hit Mother Wayne. And then, Christian beats him up and retains his title. I think this should set up for Daniel Garcia to win the TNT title at Dawn, but he should look, the shenanigans. That's the only reason he lost. And he should look really strong before they start to interfere. Next up, we have the All-Star Scramble match. So basically, the very simple concept of this is I'm pretty sure that there's a time limit for Scramble matches, and whoever's got the most recent pin will win the match. However, I expect out of the individuals in this match, multiple of them have literally no chance. You have Chris Jericho in this match. Absolutely not. You have Dante Martin in this match. Absolutely not. You have Magnus in this match. Absolutely not. Now we can start. Now you have Lance Archer in this match. Absolutely not. Now we can start talking. So we got Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, Hook, and Brian Cage as really the four guys who I guess kind of have a chance. Not really Brian Cage. And I expect it to be won by Wardlow. They've been trying to make him look dominant. But that's like putting up Kurt Angle against Pat McAfee in 2004. I wonder who's going to win. He just beats him in 2 seconds, and people are like, he's so good. He's a monster heel. He can beat up this jobber. Not to call Pat McAfee a jobber, but out of the people I have here at my desk, that's the most jobbery person I have. Penultimately, because it's kind of got to be the main event, we're going to have the AEW World title on the line. Samoa Joe defending against Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana. He swerves when he drives. He will not be swerving after this, though, because he will not be winning a title. Neither will Hangman Adam Page, as Samoa Joe will retain. Back to my point of, not losing titles before Dawn. This should segue into Joe going into Dawn, facing one of these guys, probably Swerve, and maybe still winning that match. Now, I think that might ruin the, really popular character of Swerve. However, I don't think that either of the guys in this match that aren't named Samoa Joe are going to win. And then the probably main event, it is a retirement match after all, Sting and Darby Allin with Ric Flair will attempt to retain their titles, even though Sting will have to relinquish them if they do, against the Young Bucks or the EVPs of AEW. This match is weird. Obviously, Sting's retirement match, got a great career stemming back to the 90s and even, I think, a little bit into the 80s, but I might be wrong there. And I read a bit about this before I started recording. It was a couple of days ago. And it's how that Tony Khan wanted to talk Sting into winning this match because Sting wanted to lose and he wanted to put over the Young Bucks. And that is very heroic of Sting. Now, Tony Khan is the kind of guy who would say, no, Sting, you got to win. Got to get them ratings up, man. I have a big announcement to make. Watch later. But the Young Bucks definitely should win this match. It will give them heel tag champions, and then you can go to the BCC thing I was mentioning earlier. And I think they're heels too, but nonetheless, they're more face than the Young Bucks, especially at this moment in time. And you can have them pin Darby and then have Sting's final farewell, have all the pyro go off at the end of the show and have him wave goodbye, maybe go up into the rafters. But that's my predictions. Let me run through them real quick if you did not get them all. So we're going to have Wardlow win the championship scramble match. The BCC defeat FTR. Christian Cage, Eddie Kingston, Tony Storm, Samoa Joe, Orange Cassidy, all retaining their titles. Will Ospreay defeating Konosuke Takeshita, and the Young Bucks winning the tag team titles by pinning Darby Allin, sending Sting off up through the rafters to retirement. So, I hope you agree with me, but if you don't, just make sure to leave your comments down below. At the very least, I hope you think my opinions are well-founded. Make sure to have a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good dawn, good dusk, good whatever. Watch Revolution if you can on April 7th, and find out for yourself, and goodbye.